would you like to go over that article about that 26-year-old teacher?
Oh, yes. I've got this here. Moved all of the nasty ads and everything else. This is from the Daily Mail. Headline, Teacher 26 faces 20 years behind bars for dating high school graduate 18. A Nebraska teacher and wrestling coach could be thrown in prison for up to 20 years for allegedly dating a former student after she graduated. 26-year-old Cody Pester, who taught 6th grade at Palmyra Junior and Senior High School, was arrested late last month after an investigation by the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office uncovered the relationship. Police say Pester and the then 18-year-old began exchanging text messages on the day she graduated, May 10th, 2025, according to local Channel 12 News. Cops claim Pester and the unidentified teen exchanged about 13,000 text messages from the day she graduated to August 8th. 13,000, good lord. But then again, this is a young 18-year-old girl we're talking about. They almost communicate exclusively in text messages. That last name could not have been more ironic. Pester, yeah, not exactly doing himself any favors, is he?
Well, here's the thing. Like, this is, I mean, obviously we'll get into more details so far, but like, she's 18, she's graduated.
Yes.
Why is he being arrested again?
Yeah, she is graduated. She's also 18. I mean, say what you will about the ick factor, that's legal.
Yeah, and like not even like the ick factor, because they're trying to frame it as like he was a previously like her teacher, and maybe he was, but he's a 6th grade teacher. If she's graduated, she's a senior in high school. That's like what?
Yeah.
4-5 year difference in ages that he teaches versus when she graduated. So it's not actually even her teacher and he like groomed her. I mean, maybe he actually secretly did the past 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, we don't know for sure.
We don't know that part. But if they started texting the day she graduated, which I mean does kind of insinuate there's probably something there before she graduated, but at least they had the wherewithal to actually hold off until she graduated to officially start their relationship. She's 18. You can actually be 18 in high school. And once again, he's a 6th grade teacher, not an actual like one of her teachers that she had as a senior.
Right.
Like, there's really no problem.
Yeah, it's like where's the crime? There is none. But by July 8th, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, technically he did break the law, but it's a stupid law. But we'll get into it as we read the article.
The pair is believed to have met previously at a sporting event per KOLN News. By July 18th, the relationship allegedly turned sexual. According to Chief Deputy Ben Hochin during a press conference, authorities say Pester waived his Fifth Amendment rights upon his arrest and admitted they had sex about 6 times that month. Damn. Getting more action than me, that's for bloody sure. Although the graduate was not a minor, teachers are not allowed to have intimate relationships with students within 90 days of their graduation under state law. So that's where they ran afoul. Yeah. Normally you would be thinking, okay, she's 18, he's 26, this is all consensual. She's graduated, this is all still consensual. What's the problem here? They didn't wait 90 days until after she had graduated. That's how he ended up in the clink.
Like, okay, he's a teacher, so you can maybe make the argument that he should know this, but like, I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot of stupid rules and regulations on the books at many different levels of the public sector that no reasonable person could ever be expected to memorize and know for sure.
And 90 days? So just 3 months afterwards? So I guess they're kind of like, okay, she's in college now, no big deal. But like, that seems just so, I don't want to say arbitrary, but like, it's the technicality. This is like, it feels such a nothing burger because she's 18, she's already graduated, who cares?
Yeah, like, you maybe still say, in the end, who cares?
Like, you can't bang them out of summer vacation. Like, okay, well, that's not exactly summer vacation. She's 18. She could have a job. Like, when I was 18 and graduated high school, I had a job. So as soon as I graduated, I just went to work more. That's like, and I became a normal functioning adult. I guess in that case, so she's graduated, she's 18, no big deal. Like, I hate this because I see this as like the infantilization of society, um, as a whole. It's 'cause we already have crazy leftists being like, she's a 20-year-old and a 28-year-old shouldn't be dating because she's a 20-year-old still a child. And it's like, no, she's legally adult.
No,
Yeah, there's like an
that's
age
legal
gap.
adults. Everything's consensual. You can fuck off and miss us with that bullshit.
Yeah. So it's basically like this. It's literally the meme of like 17 years old, 364 days, and like 12 hours, and you sick fuck. Like, it's literally this meme. It's so dumb, but it's not even that because she's still 18.
Yeah, this is. It all
Ugh.
kind of ties back to an overarching theory that I think it was What If Old History talked about, that so much of what is going on in the world these days is so focused around mate suppression, which terribly ironic because the people pushing for this sort of mate suppression are the same people whose predecessors were the hippies pushing, free love, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And now it's almost like this horseshoe effect or a heel turn of sorts of no one is allowed to have sex anymore.
Yeah,
That
pretty much.
everything is rape now. And everything is just all forms of sex or sexual attraction, anything like that, should be treated like a crime. I don't get it.
It's because women, they have this, thanks to feminism, they have these, once again, double standards that they won't apply evenly because they're on the left and they will do anything that takes the win. And so girls can be, faux men, be the girl bosses, go to college, go get a job in the office, be the CEO that you're always meant to be. Heaven forbid you're actually a young mother, and utilize the limited years of your life to have kids,
Yeah.
in that case.
Fulfill your
And
biological
so,
imperative.
yes. And so this is why they keep on pushing the age further and further up, from 18 to 19 to 20, 20. Like, there's a case I saw on Twitter where the 22-year-old and 32-year-old, 10-year age gap. Oh, this is gross, disgusting. This is normal. Like,
Yeah.
it's normal for older men to go for younger women because women only have a very short time period where they can actually have kids, and is in their youth. Men age like wine and women like milk. And men, on the other hand, take years to actually develop, and be able to provide the necessary means to take care of women, because they're supposed to be the protectors and providers. They're supposed to have the good job that pays the bills. They're supposed to have the nice house. They're supposed to be able to, be able to afford groceries and everything else like in between. And so that's why usually, older men are more established in their 30s than they are in their early 20s, because they're just also right out of high school too. But they can keep on having kids until their 60s and 70s, no big deal. I mean, yeah, the quality of sperm might be a little bit lesser, but still, they can impregnate a woman if need be. Women only have between like 16 and 35 roughly, to do it. And obviously 16, 17, bad, no bueno. So let's move that up to like 18 and 35. But even when you get to the ages of 30 to 35, you're already getting the geriatric pregnancy and having possible complications and increased risks for like autism and other mental issues that might not be physically there, but at least mentally there, and those regards. And so, yes, women, like men, will always go after younger women. A 10-year age gap is normal. That is okay. As long as she's legal and 18, that's all that matters. Yeah, if it maybe a 40-year-old and an 18-year-old being weird, okay, I will, at that point, I'll be like, yeah, that's probably too much. But it's still legal. And
Yeah.
you know what? If he can take care of her and she can have lots of kids for him, then you know what? At this point, I'm going to say yes.
They need to just follow the clear directives of the late Shinzo Abe. Get married and reproduce.
And reproduce. Yes. Uh, I hate it because the same, like I mentioned earlier with the whole Devon situation, where the left really wants to make the voting age 16, like they did in Britain, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like the left doesn't have any fucking standards when it comes to age. Like they're totally fine with 16-year-olds voting, or drinking and doing drugs, but as soon as actually having relationships and getting married and settled down and having kids, no, you have to be 30. Once you have your career, girl, then you can actually settle down and have kids.
But even then, they
Or they
don't
can
want them to
still have
settle down and
sex
have
and sleep
kids.
around in college. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They still don't want them to settle down and have kids because that's still viewed
Well,
as
true.
oppressive. It's
Yeah.
all mate suppression and ultimately depopulation. That's what I think
Yes.
the overarching goal here is depopulation. Specifically, depopulation of, well, it's usually targeted towards Western nations, particularly ones that have been so predominantly white European for so long.
And it's only whites because, I mean, look at the Pakistani rape kings in Britain. I mean, they're not doing anything about it in those regards, and those are very old men going after very young girls, much younger than 18. And we have the same thing here in the U.S. I mean, we have Somalian rape gangs. We have the blacks on the streets. If it's a non-white, totally fine and dandy. Hell, if we want to use an even bigger scandal, we can even look at Epstein and look how that's been handled by the government. You know, totally fine when everybody else does it. But when a normal white man dates an 18-year-old, she's 18, she's graduated. It's not even a 10-year age gap, technically. Go ahead. Like, he has to be in jail for a technicality.
Yeah. Kalergi writing in chat, how much you want to bet this teacher is a white man and the ex-student a white girl? What are the media really bothered about here? Well, I mean, you can see photograph of Mr. Pester here. We also got his mugshot. We know the mainstream media don't actually care about child rape, so Occam's Rays are telling us here it's the forming of white relationships they're losing their minds over. More than likely, yes. Pakistani abusing 12-year-old girl, don't report on that. White man dating 18-year-old he used to teach, put that on blast ASAP. Yes, the population of the indigenous Westerners. Let's see, more from the article here. It's unclear who initially tipped off authorities about the alleged relationship. I think we can probably imagine who would.
The only thing I can think of is either the parents or the girl herself.
The girl herself probably blabbing about it to her girlfriends, who in turn got jealous or, for whatever reason, decided to...
This is why women can't have friends. Women need to be separated.
Yeah, it's like that old Family Guy bit. Two girls being catty bitches to each other, and then pan over to the two blokes sitting at the table, and he's like, "Hey, I like your tie. Thanks. Men, ba-da-ba-ba, we know how to be friends."
Or like the guys who just call each other the N-word all the time.
Yeah.
Women can't do that.
All
I
in
hate
good
women
humor.
so much. Somebody in chat says her 17-year-old friends reported her. If that's the case, if that's actually true, and not just like speculation like what we're doing right now, then
Catty jealous
that even
bitches.
pisses me off even more.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she, like her 18-year-old friend was able to get a boyfriend. This is why you need to segregate women. Like, they should have their only space. They should have friends. They should have female-only spaces. But you need to heavily restrict how much you actually spend time with said friends because they sabotage.
Subject to extreme
Unless her
monitoring
friends
by
are
men.
already.
Subject to extreme monitoring by men.
Yes. Yeah, because unless they already have a boyfriend or a husband themselves, even then you need to be a little bit careful just because women are evil. But if a single friend, oh yeah, you need to keep her 10 feet away from that other bitch because she will sabotage 100%.
She's not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Also the TF2 meme. Women.
Yes. The high school graduate reportedly told investigators that she and Pester engaged in sexual relations several times in July and August 2025. Oh no. Though, like, the worst thing I can do is criticize them not waiting for marriage, but it's the modern age, so it's not that surprising.
Yeah.
Pester was taken into custody 3 days later. He was then released on a $10,000 bond after it was dropped from a $100,000 bond, according to Local 12. Jesus Christ! He was removed from the classroom and from his coaching position at the school. The school district also released a letter to the parents in light of the events. We're writing to inform you that Cody Pester, a 6th grade teacher at Palmyra Junior/Senior High School, was arrested this morning on suspicion of an inappropriate relationship with a former student, the notice raised per column. Upon receiving this information, the district immediately removed Mr. Pester from all classroom and extracurricular duties, and were cooperating fully with law enforcement as they continue to conduct their investigation.
And there goes
We
his
understand that
career and
news-
reputation.
Yeah. So he has to pay a $10,000 bond. Thank God it was dropped and lost to zero. And he also lost his job. He's going to have this marked on the rest of his life. He's not going to be able to get another teaching job. It's going to be hard to get any normal job either because he's going to be labeled as a pedophile.
Yeah, this article in the Mail is not going anywhere. They do a Google search on his name, and this is going to come up.
Yeah, like this guy, his life has been completely ruined, all because he tried to have a normal relationship. Now, granted, I will admit, maybe not the best thing to do, because like I said, it probably was actually technically started before graduation day, just because they'd start texting immediately when she got graduated. So clearly the interest is already there, but it's essentially normal in the grand scheme of things, for all things legal-wise, minus that stupid technicality.
That's just it. The only reason he's being jailed is because of a technicality.
Didn't wait 90 days. 3 months.
I know, because 90 days somehow just makes all the difference.
Yeah. It just pisses me off to no end.
Could face up to 20 years in prison. Due back in court in March. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you think he's going to have a better life in jail versus if he actually wasn't in jail? Because I know prison is not exactly a fun time, obviously. You have to be careful not to drop the soap, and right. I don't know the demographics of the area, but if your life is ruined because of this 18-year-old bitch and her friends, and you can't get a job, having a bed and 3 hot meals a day might actually be better.
I don't know. I think he'd trade it all just to have his old life back.
I mean, definitely. Like, if he could go back in time, he probably wouldn't have started the relationship in the first place, and I wouldn't blame him for that. But I just can't imagine he's only 26. That is still so young for a man, and to lose it all like this.
If he ends up serving the full 20 years, he'll be a middle-aged man by the time he gets out.
Yeah, I mean, 46 years old, there's still a chance for him. He's definitely on the cusp, and good luck for him, but there's still a chance that he can get his life together at 46, because it goes back to men aging like wine, and maybe he'll get released a bit earlier on good behavior, which will give him an extra 5 to 10 years depending on the situation, but still gonna make it very hard to get a job with this on his record.
Yeah, I no idea what he could do for a living after this.
He'd be stuck working at McDonald's probably for the rest of his life, and even then he'd probably be working at McDonald's, just because McDonald's is so hard to actually get a job nowadays because they keep on raising the minimum wage so much.
Yeah,
and they have actual adults. Yeah, because adults are working at McDonald's, which should not be the case. That should be a nice beginning job for teenagers to have. Also, there's women in the workforce too, so there's that problem. But I've known people who've gotten rejected from even working at McDonald's just because there's too much competition and they're overqualified.
Yeah, I think the line that I've heard is it is harder to get a job at McDonald's than it is to get into Harvard.
Well, I don't know if it's that bad, but
That's what people are saying. It is now more difficult to get a job at McDonald's than it is to gain admission to Harvard University. That is a really pathetic statement on society, if that is true.
It's pretty fucking damn close.
Yeah.
Just because the workforce is just completely overrun between women and then people who don't have their life together, which is also mostly women, but then it's going to be this guy too, since his life is ruined over pussy. And together, and so instead of being an intermediate job for, high school and college kids, it's become actual careers for adults in their 40s, which is unfortunate. Like, no disrespect to people who are still working in fast food in their 40s, but it's not supposed to be a long-term permanent job for adults to have. There's a reason why it's supposed to be minimum wage. Yeah.
It's a really sad state of affairs, and I feel especially sorry for the white guys out there who are struggling to find something, or move up in their careers, or make a career change, because it's only getting harder. And so many companies, I know I worked for one at one point, when it was announced that Trump administration was ending DEI. One company I was working for in particular, had a big conference of staff members, and they basically said, yeah, we don't give a fuck what the government's saying. We're still going to do DEI. We're just not going to talk about it.
Sounds about right.
So, a lot of the corporate world still not on board. They're just not being as vocal about it. They're still hell-bent on hiring anyone except the most qualified applicants, and especially don't want to hire white men.
Nope. And we're being actively genocided in real time on top of that too. It's I want a Fed post right now, but I know I shouldn't. It's exhausting, especially seeing like cases like this. I mean, even if we set aside but the possible ick about the situation, like there, as like Trigium says in chat, the fact that this dude's getting locked up when I've known cases of actual gay groomers predating a 16-year-old's getting probation. Yeah, the double standard is insane for just normal white guys just doing
society.
what normal white guys do. It's hard, and this is going to cause. It's already causing massive fractures in society. As there's a reason why the online right is rising up and being so strong. Now, granted, if anything actually gets done, it's a different story. But this is not how people are not going to be able to live like this, and white men are only going to be able to take this for so long before something will eventually break. At least I hope something eventually breaks. But that's my accelerationism that I like to hypotheticalize a little bit from time to time, talking right there. Because it'd be nice to actually just snap our fingers and fix things, but instead things just get worse and worse.
As much as we talk about there's a switch that you can flip, there's still a lot of work involved before and after the switch is flipped.
It's not going to be easy. Like, we're in the hard times right now. We're in the actual decline. The empire is declining, civilization is declining. We're heading into the dark ages.
Yes.
Just we gotta be prepared.
We are in the late stage looting phase of empire, and best advice we can offer to anyone is do what you have to get that bag, associate with as many like-minded people as you can find, and especially go wherever you're treated best.
Yep. Stock up in food and ammo, water supplies, money, and invest as best as you can.
Yeah.
And pull out as soon as before everything crashes, like the whole Bitcoin situation.
Don't blame anybody for wanting to become a passport bro. Get your passport and go somewhere where the living is both fine and also cheap, and you've got at least some semblance of a more functioning society than compared to a lot of the places that you find in the West.
I mean, I disagree with that standpoint personally. Even though I understand the sentiment.
One has to have insurance policies. One always needs to have at least some sort of contingency plan.
I guess, but I'm a believer that you should stay in your home country and fight for it tooth and nail to the bitter end. You shouldn't just flee.
I suppose that's fair. I don't know. I see both sides, and whatever direction one decides to go, I don't blame them. Either way, don't hold it against them. They're doing what they think is best for themselves, so.
I mean, I guess, but like I said, I do understand the sentiment there, but with how the Western world is being attacked on the global scale, with the World Economic Forum, the globalists, and further if you want to push that issue, no, there's nowhere that's safe. I mean, you can kind of look at different countries that are getting better, like there's certain places in apparently the Middle East that are more westernizing technologically wise, and everyone talks about how Japan's amazing, but they're even going after Japan. And South Korea is a hot fucking mess. If you want to talk about fucking feminism there, that's its own beast.
Yes,
there's really nowhere to go.
Actual genocidal feminist extremists at one point, I think, took over there, and they've been having to deal with it ever since.
Yeah, and you're just gonna keep on running and running and running until there's literally nowhere else to go because you are being persecuted because you are a white man or you are simply white. Even white women are being attacked. That's why they're being propagandized and the ads to sleep with black men. That's why they don't care about the Pakistani rape gangs. That's why they don't care about actual like deportations and actually getting rid of the real criminals there. So
It's
like
cheap labor and
it's
cheap votes for them.
mhm. So no matter where you go, you're going to be attacked. So you might as well stand and defend the country that you live in as best as you can.
Retail McDonald's in some places pay more than teaching, so it wouldn't be surprising. Yeah, teacher salaries in a lot of places still an absolute joke.
Yeah. Which, I mean, seeing the quality of education, I'm actually relatively okay with that. Like, I used to be one of those
That's
people
fair.
who were like, yeah, teachers should be paid more. And I remember, like, hearing cases, like, in somewhere in Europe, where, like, teachers actually have really rigorous training, and schooling before they even become teachers. And they actually make, like, top salaries there. And it's like, okay, then. Like, I'd be more down with teachers getting higher raises if they did have to go through gruesome schooling and training like basically like doctors do, maybe not to that full extent, but you know, something like whatever European country it was like I think it was some sort of Scandinavian country like Sweden, if I remember
That
correctly.
doesn't surprise me.
um and it's like
Might be a
that'd be
good
nice,
question
but
for
that's
Arch
we
whenever
don't
you talk to him next.
yeah, I guess. um but but we don't have that here. We only
No.
we send them to school for like their associates or bachelors and send them off, and half of that is just a waste of time and just about other things to learn about. In DEI, we have Common Core. Public schools are such a hot mess, so we have to deal with the nonce and everything else in between. Like, I can't respect teaching as a position when teachers are absolute ass. And they're all women too, or not exactly great men. It's just, I mean, it'd be nice to pay them more, but I'm at this point completely against public school in general.
Yeah. Pull the kids out of public school, homeschool them. It's about the only way they're going to learn a bloody thing.
Yep. And it's not going to be exactly cheap, but it's better than private school, and your kids won't become just mindless drones.
I don't know.
At least not to the
From
same
what I'm
scale.
hearing, the options are cheaper than a lot of people realize, and easier than you might think.
When it comes to homeschooling, yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's cheaper than sending your kid to daycare, especially once you have two of them.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad.
Never
But
send a
people
child
think of
to
it as
daycare.
such a massive, like cost, wise, and it's just a myth. You definitely have to like. You do need a lot of people are like, oh, but socialization. It's not that difficult. One, have multiple kids if they have siblings, so problem solved there. Also, there's groups you can join. And do like. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, even it's not even like a matter of like finding a homeschool group too, because like when I was a kid, because of my location, I had to join a softball team, for example, that was the local like town softball team. Everybody that part of that team went to that local school, but I didn't. Granted, it was not the best because I didn't have friends in that team, but that's because of me being socially awkward, and that's a me problem. But there are different groups you can join to force your kid to socialize. And actually make them have friends. My parents, I mean, yeah, I love my dad, but there are definitely some things that they could have done to help me out a bit better in that regards. So, and
No
if
parent
you're
is
actively
perfect.
trying to socialize your kid, then you would be doing that.
There's always going to be something that parents mess up with their kids. It's just unavoidable. Yeah.
Yeah, and chat mentions you can homeschool with families too and go to co-ops. Yes. So,
Yes,
I mean,
co-ops. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, it's basically a new 21st century version of the neighborhood Little Red Schoolhouse.